should be spectacular. You look at Finch for Ventura, a 1.94 ERA, averages almost 10 strikeouts per 7 innings, and everybody knows what Emily Rush can do for this Cypress team. For Ventura, it'll be Garcia, Guzman, and Albrent starting things off for Ventura today. Garcia is playing left field. Sienna Garcia batting .276 for this Ventura team. A talented team, not an overstacked team with bodies when you think about it. Emily Rush, ERA 0.88. 1-1's the count. So this is a setup on what you might see when the playoffs start, after everybody makes up all their rain-delayed games along the way. We'll set the defense for Cypress in a second. 1-1. Hit right there over to first base. Easy play for Ortiz. Takes it herself for the first out. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Alyssa Guzman for Ventura. Emily Rush rocks, brings it just on the inside corner for a strike. Cameron Adamondo over at third. Jaylene Duarte at short. Caitlin Reynolds over at second. And, of course, Ashlyn Ortiz at first. That one back up the middle. C&I Doc, quick pickup, flipped in time. What a play made there by Jaylene Duarte, who cuts across the center of the field and makes that play. In the outfield for Cypress, Jolie Rodriguez in left, Cameron Curiel in center, and Jaden Stern is over and right. That's the defense for your Cypress Chargers. Off-speed pitch for a strike. Almost like a slow motion pitch when you look at it. So 2 quick ups. On the outside of the plate. Painted the dirt, not the edge. 0-2's the count. Albrent fouls that one away. Lauren Albrent batting .465 this season, a slugging percentage of .873. She's got 7 home runs for this Pirate team on the season. Takes that to right field. 0-2 the count. A beautiful Saturday morning. So it will be Cypress against Ventura. Ventura against El Camino. El Camino against Cypress today here at Cypress Field. That one just a little off the plate. Those are the 3 games scheduled for today. And the way the weather's going, well, yeah, there should be no problem with that here on SportsNetUSA.net. Hit the Reynolds over at second. Quick flip to first. So an easy top of the first for your Cypress Chargers. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. After a half inning to play, it's Ventura 0, your Cypress Chargers coming up to bat. Emily Rush will start things off for your Chargers, followed by Duarte, then Reynolds, and then hitting cleanup will be Adamondo. Plitchum is on in the circle for Ventura today. Like I said, 1.94 ERA. 9.5, I'm going to round it off and give her 10 strikeouts per 7 innings. Her and I were talking before the game, watched her warm up. Athletic pitcher, likes to bring the heat when she does. So it should be an interesting pitching duel we'll see today. Brad Pickler moses over to third base. Kevin Monahan over at first in the coaching box. Emily Rush to start things off. Batting .447, .842, a slugging percentage, .574 on base percentage. So every 10 times she gets up, she's on base 6 out of those 10. We'll set the defense for Ventura in a second. Rush takes the first pitch for a ball. Watches the other one right down the middle. 1-1's the count. All Brent over at third. Guzman at short. Ortega at second. Guerrero, Mia Guerrero, is the first base person. Isabella Ayala is behind the plate for Ventura. Sienna Garcia in left. Howe in center. And Albertson over in right. Right at the knees. 2-2's the count. Orange and black are the colors of the Pirates. A little high below the letters. Full count to Rush. Emily walks more than she strikes out. 2-to-1 ratio in her favor. And she starts the game off with a walk. So Rush works the count and is over at first base. That brings up Jaylene Duarte.
Now batting number 17, Jaylene Duarte.
So Jaylene playing shortstop. The freshman batting .436. Another one who has a great eye. 9 walks, 4 strikeouts, 2-to-1 ratio. Takes that on the inside corner. 207 down the left field line. 220 to dead center here at Cypress Field. 209 down the right field line. Doherty swings through one on the corner. Like we said, Flincham can bring the heat. 0-2 count. Popped up. Catcher says, I've got it. Backs away and couldn't have it. And this is where you really do need to let Mia Guerrero come down from first base. I know Albert Robles is sitting next to my right. Ed Ford. Ed, that's the case where you make the first baseman make the catch. Catcher did not have a good angle on it. And so you get another opportunity for Duarte. And she takes advantage of that. Golfs at the left field. But down on her knees, Sienna Garcia takes it off the grass for the out. So Reynolds, who's playing second base, comes up. I asked Coach Durham, what's your team all about from Ventura this season? Good pitching, timely hitting, and solid defense is what she said. Reynolds takes a strike. She said the team likes each other. And that really helps. He said, when you're coaching, you have to have teams that enjoy being around each other. That's what we've got here for Ventura. Curveball off the plate. 1-1's the count. One count. No score. First inning. In on the hands, popped foul down the first base line, almost there, and a nice opportunity as Jocelyn Ortega goes down, tries to slide close to the fence, can't cradle the ball enough, and so it's just a loud strike on the board. Cypress in their pinstripes that Corey Neyland appreciates. Off speed. Reynolds rolls that right hand and takes it foul. Orange and black for Ventura, the colors of that team from Northern California in the game of baseball. Lined in the alley. It's going to go all the way to the fence for Reynolds. She digs for two. Throw home, not in time on a stand-up double as Emily Rush hustles her way all around the bases and gets the Chargers on the board. So Reynolds takes it up the alley for a stand-up double and gets the Chargers on the board first. Cameron Adamondo squares, takes it in the dirt. Everybody's on the move on that play. Brad knows this should be a close game today, so he's going to eke out all the runs he can at the beginning. 1-0. Adamondo offers, takes it for a strike. So you have Guerrero crashing from first. Albrent coming down from third. Guzman, the shortstop, wheels towards third. Off the hands. Team that's got a fielding percentage of .960 for the season. 25 errors by that team so far for Ventura. Better fielding team than Cypress, who only fields .950 when they're out there defensively. 2-2 on Adamondo. Reynolds at second, driving in the first run of the game with a stand-up double. Adamondo goes the alley to right center. Long single gets a run in. So a walk, 2 hits, gets you 2 runs here in the bottom of the first. Little conversation in the circle. And Cameron Curiel comes up. Young woman that can handle a bat as well as any dog trainer can handle a French poodle on a Sunday afternoon. Cameron with a great deal of speed, excellent defensive player, can paint a picture when manipulating the infield and dropping a bunt or slapping the ball. Infield in at the corner, halfway at second and short. Cameron takes the first pitch for a ball. Doesn't look like she wants to bunt. Adamondo over at first. RBI single for her. Cameron takes a strike. Lauren Albrent about 5 steps in front of third base. Mia Guerrero the same at first for the Pirates. Guerrero tries to drop it. And the lefty just wanted to leave the ball at home plate with her bat and say, hey, send my suitcase. I'll be in my room by the time it gets here. 1-2's the count. Open stance for Cameron. Adamondo goes. Throw to second, not in time. So Adamondo steals second. The count is now 2-2. Brad constantly talking to his hitter. 2-2 count. Runner at second. One away. 2 runs in. Just off the plate. Liz Gomez in the batter circle, waiting to get her opportunity for your Chargers. Griel looks, slaps it foul. 3-2 count. Shallow outfield. Garcia not far from the edge of the infield. Howe, same in center. Albertson in right. Shot to second. Only one play. Adamondo moves over to third. So 2 down. Runner advances.
Now batting number 24, Liz Gomez.
As Ortega snags it, looks at only one place to go. Brings up Liz Gomez, catching today for the Chargers. Liz and I visited a little before the game. Didn't get her to make a prediction like last game. Of course, last time I was here, she made her prediction. She was right on the money. Couple hits, couple RBIs is what she said. That's exactly what she got. Fouls that over the top. Liz batting .408. On-base percentage of .489. Slugging percentage of .579. Again, another hitter who walks more than she strikes out, and an excellent catcher. At the knees. Nice pitch. Liz looks back at the umpire like, wait a minute, I want that call when I'm back here. 2 runs, 2 hits for Cypress. Started off with a walk-by rush. Ventura thought they had it. Flitcham was walking towards the dugout. She thought she had painted the edge. 2-2 count. 2-2. Flitcham looks, come home. Liz hits it back towards Albert and myself, tries to wake us up. We're awake. Been here early. Place is packed. Cypress Softball League is here today. Future Chargers watching this team. Liz fouls that away again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 in, 1 on. Here in the top of the first and the bottom of the first. Flitcham looking for that out pitch. At the knees. Liz gets a little of it. Softball with the leggings. Had a discussion about that in the last game we did for baseball, where it looked like the guys were wearing casual Dockers to play baseball. High and away. 3-2. Jacobson on deck for your Chargers. Pincham trying to get out of the first. Liz just won't let her go anyplace. Liz from Catella High School. Lazy center field, taken at shortstop on a nice little play by Guzman to get the last out of the inning. 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We played 1 full inning of play. It's your Cypress Chargers 2, the Ventura Pirates 0 here on Sportsnet USA.net.
Came by to say hi to the boys. How we doing?
We're doing good. Brad, like always, you seem to start off quickly all the time when we're out here in the first inning.
Kids were ready to play today. We had them pumped up for this one a little bit. Ventura's a good team, so we told them to just be ready on the first inning because sometimes when you get a couple runs, it puts a little doubt in their mind, you know what I mean? Because she's a good pitcher.
She is, yeah. She's had a really good season. Well, we'll see what you can do against her in the rest of these innings.
Yeah, we can't stop it, too. We got to keep putting the pressure on them.
Yeah,
but,
and
hey,
you've got your girl in the circle. We'll see how she handles Ventura.
Exactly. How about this crowd with all these kids? Great, isn't it?
It is. Thank you for inviting them
Right.
to continue the game of softball.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks for sportnet.usa.net. Was that it?
SportsNetUSA.net.
SportNetUSA.net. To all you guys. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Brad. Brad Pickler, head coach for the Cypress Chargers here on SportsNetUSA.net. He went to Cal State Fullerton too, Ed. Brad Pickler did.
Yes, and he also went to Savannah High School.
He did, yes.
Located there on, what street is that on? It's right across, it's on the same street as Dad Miller Golf Course.
It is.
Right, matter of fact, some of the holes,
Jocelyn Ortega.
the 10th hole goes right along the side of Savannah High School.
Yeah. So Rush starts off the second with a comfortable 2-run lead to Ortega, who swings through it. Ed, it's interesting. I talked to Brad. I know you've been following it, but I said to Brad, OEC, usually a powerhouse conference every year. Brad looked at me and said, Mark, there's 2 teams, and that's it this year. On the corner for Rush.
Yeah, that's true, but we'll get to that in between innings, because there's a little bit more to that than meets the eye.
Rush, once again, tries to paint the outside corner.
But yes, Cypress is ahead of Fullerton. Fullerton did beat Cypress, but Cypress has a big advantage, Mark, because Cypress made up all those rainout dates. And I mean, they were just playing and playing and playing. The Hornets are going to have a stretch where they play, I believe it's 11 games in a row. I mean, like 11 dates in a row.
Yeah.
10 to 11 days in a row. That's going to be brutal.
Rush off speed. That fouled away. It's interesting you bring that up, Ed, because the Ventura team was telling me they're in the same position as Fullerton College. And next week, they play 5 softball games Monday through Friday of next week. Hits over to Reynolds. Reynolds to first in time for the out.
Well, as I was saying, the Southern California teams now get a taste of what it's like to play at someplace like Lassen College or, you know, one of those Yuba City, because up there it's raining all the time and snow, and you can't always get all your games in when you think you're going to.
Ayala, who's catching today, Isabel, batting .338, takes the first pitch for a strike. Yeah, I think here in Southern California, we always sort of think it's a little tough with what we're doing. We're so close to each other. Even a road trip is like to Ventura. It's set over to short. Duarte flips over to first. Out number 2.
Yeah, in the Western State League, you have Ventura. They're in there with Cuesta. And, you know, some of those drives are pretty far when you factor in going to some place like Moore Park and places like that. That's, you know, Ventura to Moore Park is not, you know, a short commute. The OEC, all the teams are close except for Riverside.
Yeah, exactly. Rush drops that one just a little. Swung over the top. So Flincham looking to try and get something started for her team. Batting .274. Goes down the right field line.
And then you have a team like Saracoso College, which is in Ridgecrest. And they started in the southern section, then they moved into the northern section. Now they're back in the southern section. They're in the Inland Empire Conference now, I think. And it's like, that's a long drive even from Victor Valley College or Barstow.
Off speed, fouled away. Gomez catches that off the tips of her fingers. Liz sort of shakes her hand out.
So there are some teams that have some pretty long drives, long ride on those buses.
Well, we know last year there were a lot of teams that weren't getting all the teams in. Some of the coaches I talked to this year, they said basically there's not going to be that mandatory amount of games that you have to get in. Emily Rush drops in the circle, flips the first, and does not get her counterparts. So we're going to give an error to Emily Rush in the circle.
Yeah, usually Rush is
Batting number 37, Mia Guerrero.
really good defensively. So just a blip.
So that brings up Guerrero playing first base. And Gomez is going to go over. She caught one off her thumb, and she's talking to Brad about her hand right now. And I think Brad may be taking her out of the game. We're going to have the trainer look at it. So Liz had the foul ball that came up, and it's where her thumb is, so it might have bent her thumb back. We don't know. We can't tell, but we see them playing with the hand that she uses to catch with. We talked about Ventura being 7-0 in conference, and Ed, you brought up Cuesta. They're right on their heels at 6-2. That's basically the race in their conference between those two teams, and that could be the two teams from there that end up going into the playoffs.
Well, there's that old RPI, which we'll get to in between innings because.
You know what's funny, Ed? The girls and I from Ventura were talking about RPI. And actually, Flincham and I were talking about it while she was warming up. And I happened to say something, and she looked at me and she goes, "That is the stupidest rule I've ever seen in a game." She goes, "You get throttled by a number one team. You get run ruled in a doubleheader. And guess what? You're a better team because you gave up 30 runs in 8 innings. But hey, you know what? You at least played those 5 innings you had to in each game. And you move up." She goes, "It makes absolutely no sense."
Well, there's coaches that don't like it, and there's players that don't like it. So why doesn't anybody do something about it then? And, of course, there are announcers that don't like it.
I think people take it as a
I can see
standard.
part of it. Well, everything doesn't have to stay a standard. I mean, this game has changed. Remember back in the old days when we first started doing the Michelle Carew Classic high school softball? The circle and the rubber was a lot closer. It made those California girls look really good.
Yeah.
And then it got moved back to where everybody else had it in the country. I don't know. Remember a long time ago I brought in that that VHS that Randy Retier had for us for Iowa basketball, how Iowa basketball used to be played. That sort of, you know, the defensive players couldn't cross the half court, and the offensive players, you know, had to stay in the offensive side of the court. It's pretty bizarre, but they don't do that anymore. So things change. That doesn't mean we have to have RPI forever.
Strike three as Rush gets Guerrero. No runs, unknown hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. As we head to bottom of 2, it's your Cypress Chargers 2, the Ventura Pirates 0 here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Now, you were mentioning Cuesta, and the problem with Cuesta is going to be is that, and some other teams are going to run into the same buzzsaw. They're not going to make it because of RPI. So right now, if the playoffs happen, Cypress is #1 in RPI, and they should be. They're the #1 team. Palomar is 2nd. Mount Sac is 3rd. I might put Fullerton in front of Mount Sac. Bakersfield, Ventura is 6th. Long Beach is 7th. Cerritos, who beat Long Beach yesterday, they moved up to 8th. El Camino is 9th. LA Mission. Santiago Canyon, which is having a off year, a poor year for Lisa, at least by her standards. They're 11th. They don't have a winning record either in conference or overall. 9-13 overall, 2-5 in conference. Antelope Valley, Canyons, Pasadena City, RPI, you know, they lost to Mount Sac, but they were leading that conference. And then Saddleback is 15th, Rio Hondo is 16th, Santa Ana is 17th, and Riverside is 18th. So they do take 18 teams because we had the play-in teams, but you still have to put in a team for the Inland Empire Conference, and none of those teams are within the top 20. So it's either San Bernardino Valley or Chaffee would get one of those spots. So you would knock Riverside out of that 18th spot. So, you know, Cuesta doesn't really have much of a chance. They're at 20th. They're going to have to move up to about 15 or 16 to really get in.
Jacobson leads things off here in the bottom of the 2nd.
And we've seen some really strange things about, you know, in the north, too, having that same issue.
Jacobson hits that old seeing eye dog that just drops in for a base hit.
Now batting number 13, Ashlyn Ortiz.
So Ortiz comes up. Ashland playing first base for your Cypress Chargers. Snap throw back to first, not in time. Nice throw by Bella Ayala behind the plate for the Pirates. Little drop, tried a bunt, crashing from third base was Lauren Albrecht. Lauren just couldn't get her glove around to snag it out of the air. Fincham jams the hitter. That ball goes foul. Corey Neyland, Saunders on behind us. Fincham brings it. Foul comes straight back towards us. So Cypress gets 2 in the first on a walk and a couple hits. Reynolds has a big double to drive in the first one. Adamondo follows up with a single for 2 runs driven in. Pulls it over there. Albrecht over to second for 1. Back to first, not in time. So we get a force out at second. Fielder's choice.
Now batting number 7, Jaden Stern.
So the right fielder, Jaden Stern, comes up. Stern batting .390 this season. Look at Jaden drops a little bunt. Fair ball gets thrown out. Just needed to get a little farther out there. Runner advances. 2 down.
Now batting number 18, Emily Rush.
Emily walked her first time up. Blanchard throws it outside. Really hasn't found that strikeout pitch yet in this game. Albrent even with the bag at third. In the inside corner. Interesting body position for the third base person for Ventura. If you catch it on the infield camera, she goes down into squat position, but her body is almost angled towards foul territory. Pulled towards her, off the top of her glove, and Rush is going to get a hit and an RBI. Flip to first.
Well, Rush comes through again for the Chargers, and amazing the amount of RBIs she has, and she's hitting leadoff.
Yeah,
and she has power.
Yeah, she is the spoon that stirs the drink for Brad Pickler. Duarte comes up. Lined out to left her first time up. Shows bunt, takes a strike. Nine doubles for Duarte this season. She got 21 RBIs. They're now 3 behind Emily Rush, who leads the team in RBIs for the Chargers. Flincham brings it. Flares into left field. Rush goes station to station, a bobble in right field. Rush takes off. Heads up running by Emily Rush over at second base. She was going to be satisfied with stopping at second. A ball is bobbled, and she's now at the corner with an opportunity to score. So right field gets an error for Rush advancing on bobbling the ball. So you end up giving Duarte a single, and then you give an error to right field for Ventura. That's to Albertson on allowing Emily Rush to move to third base. 3 runs, 5 hits now. For the Chargers. And we talked about this Ventura having a short bench and everything else. And that short bench will hurt him as Emily Rush is going to come off and get a pinch on her. So Jolie Rodriguez is going to be over at third, the run for Emily Rush. So Rodriguez at third as a designated runner for Rush.
Now batting number 1, Caitlin Reynolds.
So Reynolds had that big RBI double.
What?
In the first. Throw behind the runner. And of course, they had Jocelyn Ortegas trying to sneak in at second base for the Pirates. Didn't do any good. Throw back to third. So now the runner advances on a stolen base. At the knees. Right where the socks come up and hit the pinstripes, called for a strike. 1-2's the count. Blancham wants to go back to the same spot, see if they can get her to bite on it, on the outside of the plate. Foul ball down the line, settling underneath it to make the final catch is Garcia. But not before the Chargers get on the board again. 1 run on 3 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on base. We head to top of 3. It's the Chargers 3, the Pirates 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net, and Charger Live.
Certainly a critical inning there for Ventura, because a base hit there scores 2 runs, and then you're down 5-0. So Brad is trying to exploit the fact that, hey, he's playing against a team that only has 10 players. And, you know, people do get tired. And how do you make substitutions? Who do you bring in to pitch?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you only have 10 players. I mean, even if you have a good solid team of 10 players, you're still at a disadvantage. It's just like a football team.
Yeah.
You got to have a bench.
You do. And when you saw, Ed, to start this game off, that Ventura's reserves was all but 1 player, everybody that's on the field has got to play. But Emily Rush says, you know what? No tears for the opponents. She comes back out there and warms up here in the top of 3. 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Chargers. That error was on Emily Rush, who had a ball hit right back to her in the circle, and she drops it.
Now batting number 7, Maggie Howe.
No runs, no hits, and 1 error on the Pirates, and that error was in the last inning when the right fielder drops the ball after a base hit and allows Rush, who was at second, to advance to third. Those are your 2 errors. Well, it's warm out here, and the pitchers are starting to warm up themselves as Howe comes up. Howe playing center field for the Pirates today. Maggie Howe batting 167 for Ventura. Swings through that. And Emily Rush gets her first strikeout of the day.
Now batting number 12.
Emily with that ERA of 0.88. Keeping it down low. It's sort of in the record books. If she can finish off this season, she will drop in there as one of the better pitchers with ERAs here for the Cypress Chargers. When you look at the record book, you know, you don't really find anybody in the 20s. 21, 22. Yeah, besides Emily Rush. Corey Neyland. My prompter over to my left now. Gabby Neyland sitting in Brad's office on the phone, calling the Czech Republic. At the knees, strike 3. Getting that low pitch. So back-to-back strikeouts.
Sienna Garcia.
So Garcia comes out. She grounded out to first base her first time up. Rush throws a pitch to herself for a ball. Emily turns around and looks at everybody else, starts laughing. They're all trying to figure out where that pitch went. She says to Gomez, don't call that one again. This one flared, just foul. Two teams that are doing well, and they're both doing well because everybody likes each other. Talk to the Ventura coaches. They said everybody on this team likes each other. That wasn't true last year. It was a very difficult season to coach last year. Next pitch swung through for a strike, a little high around the letters. But even though they're limited, they looked at me and they said, Mark, all 10 girls really do like each other. Back to Rush. This time she fields it cleanly and goes over to first. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base here in the third. As we head to bottom of 3, it's Cypress 3, the Pirates 0. Here on Sportsnet, USA.net, and Chargers Live.
So right now, Mark, in the Western State North, there's a Western State North, a Western State East. I'm not really sure I understand that. Isn't Bakersfield north of Santa Monica? Maybe not. Depends on whose map you look at. Sort of like, the Czech Republic and Downey.
That's true. That's true.
You get those mixed up. Ventura, as Mark has mentioned, is in first place with a 7-0 conference record. They're 19-3-1 overall, so they're playing some good ball. Cuesta in second place in the conference, 6-2 and 15-12 overall. So Janelle's got that thing going there. And Santa Barbara's had a good season. They're 3-3 in conference, 13-10 overall. Allen Hancock is in fourth place, 3-3, or tied for third, and 9-7 overall. Moore Parks is 5-19, so they're kind of out of it, along with L.A. Pierce. It's only played 7 games and hasn't won any yet.
So Adamando comes up, offers, takes it for a strike. Adamando had a single and an RBI in the first inning. Albrent at short, Albrent at third, Guzman at short. Ortega at second, Guerrero at first. That's the infield for the Pirates. Off the plate. Ayala, the battery mate to Flincham. Garcia in left, Howe in center, and Albertson over in right. Base hit, just hops over the glove of Albert, so Adamando, 2 for 2 today.
With this weather, Mark, one thing that's missing this season, Ventura College always used to have a softball tournament on Easter break. The, what's it called, the spring something or other, but not this year.
Curiel comes up. The Pixie center fielder who brings speed to her game as an advantage. Grounded out to second. Drops the bunt down, takes it back to the circle, flip over to first just in time. So bunting for a base hit, so she gets out there. Runner does advance.
And Santa Barbara City College, also another school that hosted a sort of spring. It was always a week before, I think, the Ventura tournament. Fullerton College, I remember, used to play in that, and Golden West would play in it from the OEC. But this year, we're not seeing those. So really, there aren't that many tournaments.
Pitch to Liz, down and away. And you sort of think to yourself, maybe, Ed, it's a good thing because of what's happened, people trying to make up games in conference. Right down Broadway for a strike. Liz took a foul ball off her hand, catching. Went to the trainer. You didn't know if she was going to come back out here. She popped out to short. Flincham says, I've got it. Takes it herself for out number 2.
Almost a collision there, but somebody has to take control on those because we've seen in other games where, oh, I think you have it. No, I think you have it. And then
it plops down. Jacobson comes up, offers to bunt, takes it for a strike. Jacobson, the designated player today, batting .357. 16 RBIs so far this season. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Couple doubles for her. Flincham checks the wristband, pulls it down the line. Jacobson, if she can get that inside, she's still running. 3 runs, 6 hits. And it looked like your Chargers were going to open it up early and run away and hide. They've had back-to-back run rule games in their last 2 games, so they haven't played a lot of innings. Down in the dirt, blocked nicely by Ayala behind the plate.
Yeah, Brad Pickler was telling us that the last 2 games took, an hour, and I think both of them are under 90 minutes in length.
Right there, back up, base hit. Roll that wrist for a single. Runners at the corner. 2 outs. Ortiz comes up.
Now batting number 13, Ashlyn Ortiz.
You watch her at first base. She is a steady first base person, batting .351. .984 defensively over at first. Pitch inside. So not only is she good with the bat, she's great with the glove defensively at first base. She makes the infielders look better because of the first base she plays. Runner goes. Now they've got the runner, the rundown. We'll see, does the run scores? And this is what happens because the rundown had it when the runner went. The runner broke from third. They continued the play between first and second. The runner at third scores before the final out is made. Therefore, the run counts. 1 run on a couple hits. No errors. And 1 left on base as we head to top of 4. It's now the Chargers 4, the Pirates 0, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Corey Neyland enjoying the sun, getting out here, getting a tan, greasing himself up to distinguish those great curves he had from the day he was an iconic asphalt basketball player. San Diego State would like to have some play like Corey Neyland this weekend. San Diego, Ed, I got to tell you, City of San Diego, their ballpark is being used for one of the largest watch parties ever in California for the San Diego State game tonight. It'd be a ball to be able to go and see that. Well, let's do it this way. Let's finish 3 here for the day. in excellent softball by two of the top teams in Southern California. And then we'll discuss a little college basketball later after we're done here on Chargers Live and Sportsnet USA.net. Guzman will lead things off. Albrent will follow, and Ortega. Those are the three starting off the top of the fourth here for your Ventura Pirates on Chargers Live and Sportsnet USA.net. Rush high and outside. Albrent grounded out to Reynolds, her first time up over at second base. Pops that one away.
Now there's no clause in that watch party if they don't sell enough tickets that the taxpayers have to pick up the tab for the empty seats or something like that.
I guess the thing's almost sold out. I guess the county of San Diego is going crazy over this game tonight. Albrent, the third base person for this Pirate team, drives it up the gap. She doesn't stop at first. She goes in, and a ball that just gets knocked down for a stand-up double. And I was wrong. That was Guzman. Shame on me. I was giving that to Albrent. That was Guzman that did that. Told you she played shortstop. So Guzman gets a double. Now Albrent comes up. So Guzman with a double. Over at second, no outs. Albrent takes it on the edge for a strike. Adamando at third, Duarte at second, Reynolds at first, Reynolds at second, Ortiz at first. Reynolds goes out, gets out of the way for Stern, and Stern pulls it in for the out. Stern in right, Curiel in center, and Rodriguez in left. Brings up Ortega, who grounded out to Reynolds at second, her first time up. Pops that away. Ortega batting .426, slugging percentage .456, 14 RBIs, one of the RBI leaders for this Pirate team. Takes that up the middle. Duarte's got it on a tricky little hop, goes over to first for the out. The runner advances to third.
Now batting number 23, Isabella Ayala.
So Ayala comes up, runner at third, trailing by 4 here in the top of the fourth. Ayala swings through that, grounded out to Jaylene Duarte over at short. Her first time up. Ayala floats it to left field. Rodriguez underneath it for the third out of the inning. No runs on one hit, no errors, and one left on base. As we head to bottom of 4. Well, it's 4s all around. The Chargers 4, the Pirates 0, here on Chargers Live and Sportsnet USA.net.
Let's look at our scoreboard for some teams that have reported anything. Santa Barbara is playing Cabrillo today. No score in the top of the first inning. Riverside and Pasadena City College. That's game at Riverside. Bottom of the first. No score between those two teams. Bakersfield taking on Santiago Canyon. That game happening in Orange. And there is no score top of the first inning. Top of the first, San Joaquin Delta and Modesto, no score. Obviously, okay. And then we have top of the first, Shasta and Butte with no score. Bottom of the first inning, Santa Rosa, Cosumnes River with no score. Top of the first, no score between Cuesta and Rio Hondo. That game in Cuesta. It's sophomore day. And those are the only games that have started. Some other games of note. Santa Ana will be at Fullerton today. Fresno at Monterey Peninsula. Butte plays 2 against Shasta. And Santiago Canyon Bakersfield will play 2. Rio Hondo and Cuesta will play 2.
Now batting number
And
13,
Glendale will be
Ashlyn
at
Ortiz.
Desert, a makeup game.
So Ortiz will lead things off for your Chargers here in the 4th inning. Got on with a fielder's choice on the 2nd inning. 2 runs in the first, 1 run in the second, 1 run in the third. That's how they've gotten their 4. Fly ball to center field. Just a little backpedaling out there by Howe, but she gets underneath it for an out.
Now batting number 7, Jaden Stern.
Jaden Stern, the right fielder. A solid right fielder for Brad Pickler. Jaden batting .390, 13 RBIs for the season. Couple doubles when she's up. She has not struck out yet this season. 4 walks, no Ks. So when you look at somebody that's got an eye, Stern is very good at it. Out of Pacifica High School. Straight up and then drops. You know, when you watch your umpire peel away from you as if you're that car that just ran a red light, you need to realize that you need to step on the gas because he's getting out of your way instead of turning around going, is there something wrong? So the ball drops safely next to the fence. 1-2, down in the dirt. 2-2. Mark Campbell, he used to be the softball coach over at Pacifica High School. Had a great program when he was there. Strike 3, and that is Stern's first strikeout of the season.
Now batting number 18, Emily Rush.
Rush comes up. It seems like she's up every inning. Emily walked in the first, singled in the second. Emily batting .447, so she's 1 for 2 today. Takes that for a strike, so her average will be going up. .842 is her slugging percentage. 12 doubles, 6 home runs for the team. High and away. 23 RBIs, leads the team. Well, now she's got 24. She drove in one earlier in this game. So she's got 24 for the season now. Fouls out one away towards the snack bar. Remember, the rule is anything that gets hit by a foul ball at the snack bar belongs to sportsnetusa.net. We will eat damaged food. A little chili splatter, never hurt anybody. A little dirt from a softball is okay. She offered 2-2 Boy, I don't know. First base was rubbing his knuckles. I think I might have looked down at him and said, "What'd you think?" Corey Neyland saw that too, said he was anxious. 2-2 count. Straight up. Foul ground missed by Isabella Ayala. And once again, if you're a catcher, you've got to find where you're comfortable as. Is that turning your bat? You've got to get rid of your mask, which is not what she did. The first thing you do is get rid of that mask. And then you settle underneath the ball and catch it against your body if you must. So Rush will get another opportunity at the plate. I give catchers a lot of credit. I mean, you know, I would not want to be back there getting beat up as catchers do. Ayala gives the sign. Just misses the inside of the plate. Flincham says, wait a minute, you know, just because we're wearing orange and black doesn't mean we shouldn't get the calls. 3-2 count. Brad Pickler camping out down the left field line. Is Brad like got a, you know, if this was a baseball coach that I used to know, I think he was sneaking off the field because he had a tee time coming over at Black Gold. (3-2). Down in the dirt. So Rush again gets another walk for the day. Duarte will come up. Flew at the left. Then got on with a hit in the second. Duarte batting .436, slugging percentage of .585. Again, one of the leaders in RBIs with 21. Takes that for a ball. You like this across the board. 9 doubles, 1 triple, and 1 home run. Fouls it straight back. So she can do everything, and her walk to strikeout ratio is 2-1. Excellent offensive player for Brad Pickler's team. Drives it up the alley. It's going to make it to the fence. Watch Emily around the bases. She never slows down. She's heading to the plate. She's in on a triple by Duarte.
Now batting number 1, Caitlin Reynolds.
Well, Duarte now inches 1 RBI closer to Emily Rush's lead.
Yeah, Emily with 24 now, Ed. Duarte with 22.
And you see a situation where Emily Rush probably shouldn't have gotten on base, but she did. You don't want to, you know, she is a dangerous hitter, but you don't want to face Duarte too.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's you got to make those outs when you get a chance, like you were saying. Get that mask off. There's a pop-up. That's an easy out. You can't miss those. Not against a team like Cypress.
Yeah, if you give Cypress a second chance, you've been around him too long.
Yeah.
They beat you with the second chance.
And especially when you're already down.
5-0. Brings up Reynolds. Reynolds had an RBI double in the first. Reynolds batting .418, also with 21 RBIs. She's got 22. She flies to left field for the third out, but not before another run gets in. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We have completed 4 innings of play. It's the Chargers 5, the Pirates 0, here on Chargers Live and sportsnetusa.net. When this game finishes, it will be Ventura against El Camino. That game may not be on Charger Live, but it will be on sportsnetusa.net. Then after that game, Game 3, El Camino against Cypress, will then be on Chargers Live and sportsnetusa.net. So we're not going away. Just for game number 2, there will be a different stream. It will strictly be on sportsnetusa.net. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, it sounds reasonable.
Okay. So that's where the second game is, only on sportsnetusa.net.
Well, it could be on that guy who stole our basketball game on his channel too. So
yeah, it could be on.
We'll see.
Copyrights are us, or copyrights don't belong to us, is the site you may want to go to. As we head to the top of the 5th.
Now batting number 4, Ashlyn Flincham.
Flincham got on with an error to Emily Rush. She swings through that one. Flincham dribbled one back to Rush, who looked to see where the runner was. When she looked, she picked up the ball and dropped it. By the time she recovered, Flincham was at first. Flincham has not had her strikeout pitch today for her Pirates. Emily batting, Ashley batting 274. Swings through that one, right over the top. Look at Ashley so far this season, 15 strikeouts and 6 walks. Fouls that one away. Ashley's got 4 doubles and 1 triple. And 14 RBIs. Albrent and Gallegos are the leaders in RBIs for this Pirate team. 27 and 25 respectively. The orange and black of Ventura. The blue and white pinstripes of Cypress. Emily Rush said, Corey Neyland, wake up. She saw you back here. So Flincham starts the 5th off with a walk.
Now batting number 37, Mia Guerrero.
Guerrero struck out in the 2nd. Flincham dancing, try to get something going. 5 runs, 8 hit, 2 errors for your Cypress Chargers. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 error for the Ventura Pirates. The Pirates, number 11 in the state of California. Cypress, number 3. Palomar sitting on top of the heap right now in California.
They haven't lost the game yet.
No.
But, you know, that can come back and bite you. Look at what happened to Palomar women's basketball. Undefeated. Got into the state playoffs, and then, unfortunately, that's not the time where you kind of slip just a notch and lose a game. You're out then.
Rush brings it off speed. Reynolds turns. First 4 to 6 to 3 double play. Look at the turn at second base. where you look at Caitlin Russell, gets it to Duarte, who steps on the bag with fluidity and moves towards first for a 4-6-3 double play. Brings up Howe, who checks her swing for a strike. Maggie Howe really hasn't had a lot of opportunities, batting 167 this season. Emily Rush says, Mark, come on now, be kind. Throws it over everybody's head. I think she's trying to say, hey, in between games, I'll do another interview. Ed Ford's watching Albert.
Break our controller.
I was wondering.
That's okay. They're really cheap. I just order another one online. FedEx next hour. The drone will come down and
Hey, there we go. One-two count. Rush says, there we go. Strike three, that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one left on base. As we head to bottom of five, well, it's the Chargers 5, the Pirates 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ed, I got to go back to you because last year it was all Northern California. That's always seemed to showed up in the conversation. You look at some of the conferences this year, looks like it could be a Northern California discussion again, except with maybe Mount Sac, Cypress stepping in there. A little help from Fullerton along the way.
well, I'm sure that San Mateo will be there again. Sierra is just playing crazy. They've only lost one game, and they're ranked number 1 in the state. Because some of this River started slow. They're coming up. That Big 8 with Sac City. A lot of teams are going to come out there. The team that hasn't played well is San Jose, but as of late, they are starting to play better. And if you look at the RPI, they have enough to get into the playoffs. The problem in the North is going to be in the Bay Valley Conference, where you only have 4 teams. And right now, Solano, I'm sure they're in first place, but they have like a 3-16 record. Yuba, I think, hasn't won a game, and Mendocino, they're all well under 500. So some people will look at that and say, unfortunately, one team out of the Bay Valley Conference will have to be in the playoffs, and they'll get the last spot. And another thing, the Northern California, they don't do the play-in. They do 16 teams, which I still don't understand what's going on with that.
Adamando will start off the 5th here.
I mean, this 2 sections should, in the playoffs or softball, it should be the same. Either everybody takes just 16 or you do the play-in. I mean, look at basketball.
Adamando hits a high fly just off the skin at second, taking there by Ortega, who gets it for the first out of the inning.
The thinking must be that there's more teams down here, so you don't have the opportunity to, there's no need to have a play-in for a couple extra teams. It could be a matter of travel distance. Some of the teams would have fairly far traveling distances, but I don't know. It still should be consistent. So that will be an interesting thing to see who comes out of that. So you may see the same teams in the in the state championship again.
Griel tries to drop a bunt down the third baseline.
Because really, it doesn't really change that much year to year. I mean, Palomar is always there. Cypress is always there. Mount Sac is always there. It's kind of a question of, will Fullerton be that other team, or will it be somebody else? Will it be a Long Beach? Will it be Cerritos? Will it be Ventura?
Could be any of the above as Cameron takes that for a ball. 1-2's the count. Tried a bunt, couldn't get it down. 1-2. Just off the edge. Flincham just thinks she's getting squeezed just a little for those Pirates. I think she's throwing some pretty pitches and hasn't gotten the call.
Well, she has 2 strikeouts on the day.
Off the plate again.
And that's the thing. What do you do when you're Ventura for game number 2 where you play El Camino? You got another arm?
They slap it out there. Cameron goes to center field. Taken out of there by Howe.
Now, El Camino isn't having an El Camino type of year. I think they're playing a little better than last year, but they're still a very dangerous team. We've seen them play already, Mark, and they can put up some runs. That's one thing they've always been able to do is score runs.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Ed. What you do pitching-wise? Because it's you look at Ventura plays that second game right now. So there's a pop up there. And that's a quick 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We have now gone through 5. It's the Chargers 5, the Pirates 0, here on Sportsnet, USA.net, and Chargers Live. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do because there'll be a short break and then the Ventura El Camino game will happen. And then it's El Camino against Cypress as Cypress will take a break in the middle game. So you come in here for this double dip, you don't get the rest of your Ventura and you don't get the rest of your El Camino, but the host team Cypress gets to, lounge, take a little nap, rest their arms.
Very true. Let's go back to the scoreboard while we have a chance. Pasadena City College getting shut out in the top of the 3rd inning in Riverside. It's the Tigers 4-0 over the Lancers. Cabrillo leads Santa Barbara 1-0. Of course, our game here, it's 5-0. Bakersfield and San Diego Canyon in the doubleheader today. In the top of the 2nd inning, no score as of yet. Modesto leads San Joaquin Delta by a score of 2-1. That's in the top of the 2nd inning. Bottom of the 2nd, Cuesta 2-1 over Rio Hondo, and that's a game that really both teams need to win. Fullerton and Santa Ana will be starting in about 30 minutes. And those are the only scores we have. We mentioned which doubleheaders will be coming up. And now let's go back to the action here at Cypress with Mark.
Well, I tell you what, Corey Neyland accused me of being a jinx for one of the batters for Cypress, Stern, who hadn't struck out. But I never once said anything about Emily Rush throwing a no-hitter. Because I was thinking of it, and then that she gave up that hit in the 5th inning. I thought, oh, we're going to get a good one here. She's got a one-hitter going on in this game.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's not a taboo thing about saying somebody hasn't struck out. But the no-hitter is something else.
Morgan Albertson comes in to pinch hit. Morgan fouls it off.
So is that the bench?
No, that's my mistake, Ed. Morgan was up. I was looking at somebody else's name down here. No, their bench is actually Alexis Carrillo. That's it. That's their only person. Morgan's playing right field for them today. Morgan's batting .367. Went to Nordhoff High School. Swings through that one.
Now batting number 3.
That takes us to the top of the order. So Garcia batting .276. 13 RBI. She's got 21 hits this season. Takes an off-speed pitch for a strike. And Albertson is who you might see pitch that next game for the Pirates. Little flare shot taken by Rush in the circle. Quickly, 2 outs here in the 6th. We're moving right along.
Now batting number 22, Alyssa Guzman.
Guzman over to Reynolds. Reynolds the first, and quickly 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We zoom through the top of the 6th. It's Cypress 5, the Pirates 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net, and Chargers Live. That's right, Rush, 1 double away from a no-hitter in this game today on Sportsnet, USA.net, and Chargers Live. Ed Ford, Albert Robles, Corey Neyland. I thought I saw John. I think he disappeared. He's right there. There he is, over my left shoulder. We're all here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Corey Neyland and I'll share a little of the second game for you. Then I'll bow out of the way. Corey will finish that second game and do game number 3 when Cypress will take on El Camino here on Chargers Live and Sportsnet, USA.net. Albert Robles isn't, are you? Oh, he is. Albert Robles is singing next to me. So those nice little baritone notes that you get there, Ed, that's the voice of Albert Robles.
Yeah, he did an outstanding job in The Jazz Singer. I mean, especially when he sang "Love on the Rocks." You know, that was my favorite part.
You know what? I wish he'd wear some of his bejeweled stuff out here for
That's
Sportsnet.
true.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's the Star Spangled Banner. He could do America.
He could.
They come. Yeah, it would be great. We'll have to plan that for one of the games.
Get some tears going.
Maybe baseball.
So we head to the bottom of the 6th. Look forward to having Albert come out here and give us that rendition.
Well, in 2 Saturdays from now, we will be out here at Cypress College once again, except we will move a little bit to the north and have a Chargers baseball game.
All right.
I'm not 100% who they're playing. It could be Saddleback.
Okay, well, we'll check
Somehow
that.
I think it is Saddleback.
We'll check that schedule. Kayla Topola is up to bat. So Kayla comes up to pinch hit here in the bottom of the 6th. Kayla trying to find her stroke with a bat. Flares it and it drops it. right off there, and Kayla says, Mark, I did. So Kayla gets a base hit to start the bottom of the 6th. And it looks like we'll get another pinch hitter for Brad as Vanessa Correa will come up.
Number 14, Vanessa Correa.
So we'll be Saddleback there on the 15th for baseball. We were just out at Saddleback, watched their team play against Orange Coast College. An exciting baseball game. Albert Robles, Corey Neyland on the call for that game. So Vanessa, another youngster on this team, looking to find that hitting stroke for Brad. Vanessa sometimes will play second base for the Chargers. Fill in for Caitlin Reynolds over at second when she has an opportunity. Lyncham not having her strikeout sort of game. This is a young lady in the circle that averages over 9 strikeouts per 7 innings and just hasn't found that stroke today against this very talented Charger team. A little bunt fouled away. Two happy groups of student athletes. Because that's the purpose of all these coaches, to help these young women get to the next level. That one fouled away down the right field line. Talked to Tisha before the game. We talked about the team. It's a smaller team, but it's a team that cares about each other. She cares about all these students. Of course, we know how Brad feels about his players. 3-2. Strike 3 called. So Brad bringing up pinch hitters as Bowerman now comes up.
Now batting number 9,
Caitlin Bowerman. You'll see Caitlin behind the plate when Liz is not there. Good catcher. Bowerman out of Cypress High School. Brad's got 4 players out of Cypress High School on this team this year. So Jacobson, freshman out of Cypress. Adamonda, who went to Cypress High School. Then you've got Jaden Stern, a freshman. No, Stern went to Pacifica. Bowerman went there. Shot over to third. In the dirt, E on the play. So a little E over there. 5, another error.
Number 18, Emily Rush.
As Emily Rush gets in a position to just increase her RBI lead for this team.
Well, Duarte, got 1 RBI, so Emily, maybe come back and, get her lead back to the margin it was prior.
Next pitch. A little high. 1-1's the count. Ball 2, same spot. 2-1. Hitters count, my partner would tell me. Corey Neyland says always watch out for the 2-1 count. Not the 3-1 count, but the 2-1 count is the hitters count. Outfielders sneak in a little. 2-2, beautiful pitch on the inside of the plate. Just like carving a little turkey. Just nice and thin, in and thin for a strike. 2-2 count, high and away. See, you carve the turkey, you need to stay with the mashed potatoes. You can't go and start pouring gravy on things. That makes it ball 3. 3-2. See if the runners are going. Rush. Pops it, should be out of play. She was looking for that one, Mr. Ford. She was looking to drive it. Three, 2 on. Bottom of 6. Up by 5. The pitch to Rush. Ball 4. So the bases are loaded. And we'll see if we're going to have pinch runners. So we are. We're going to have a pinch runner over at second. And that's going to be Haley Martinez is now in the game for Cypress at second base. So Rush stays at first. She gets on with a walk. They don't bring somebody in for her. But now Martinez is over at second as a pinch runner. Duarte comes up. He's had a good day at the plate.
Now batting number 17, Jaylene Duarte.
Bases loaded. One out. Off speed pitch for a strike. Duarte, 21 ribbies, 1 home run, 1 triple, 9 doubles. Pops it up, infield fly roll call. And then the runner at first is thrown out for wandering way too far, and I can't figure out why. So that's going to bring us bench. And yet they're 7-0 in their conference. They're 11th in the state. So I've got to give the coaching staff a great deal of credit. But yet, like they said to me, no, you don't need 25 players. If you've got 10 players who want to play, I'll take those 10 all day long.
And the only thing you worry about that, Mark, is tiredness at the end of the season. If those 10 players who played doubleheaders, Bennett Fields all day long, if that's going to wear on them in the postseason, and they will make the postseason.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, Ed and I were looking about who may make it. Emily Rush, where's that? And I want to tell you something. You teased me about a jinx on Stern. I never once said, like I said, Ed, I never once said anything about the no-hitter that was getting pitched here. I thought maybe I was going to get one, as Emily Rush is throwing a no-hitter. And then that one hit comes up, and now she's got a one-hitter against the Pirates here in the 7th inning. Easy little play. Stretch at first base. And what a beautiful play made by Doherty. A better play by Ortiz over at first, doing the splits to make that stretch for an out at first.
Yeah, and that's what made that out. Albrant was running, and she quickly down the first base line. That's going to be the player of the year in the Western States Conference.
Shot to right field. Stern sets underneath for that. Out number 2. So Jaden Stern makes that a quick out.
And if Emily Rush can get the batter here in Ayala to get out, that'll be the reason why she was so far off of first base on that infield fly.
Corey giving her the benefit of the doubt. ERA, now that's going to drop probably under 8 after this game. As good as she was last year, is she better this year?
Yes. Because her team is making it seem like she's better than last year. But in pitching-wise, yes. She has a better ERA than last year. Her numbers are comparable in wins, strikeouts, walks. They're comparable. But because she has, in our opinion, a better team this year, she looks better in the circle. And she's got a chance to be State Player of the Year.
Well, you look at her offensive numbers and what she's done. I mean, Corey, her slugging percentage is in the 8s. I mean, geez. And she's a leadoff hitter.
Yeah, I mean, things have changed in the game of softball. Your best hitters are the 1, 2, 3 hitters. Your second in the lineup hitters are now your number 9 hitters.
So Cypress up 5-0 in this triple header today here on SportsNetUSA.net and Chargers Live. Flared foul. Well, the game has. You've been around the game a lot. It's not picking on age. It's just because you were with a family that just spent a lot of time in softball.
Yeah.
It has evolved over the years. Ed's even talked about moving the mound again in softball.
I'd like to see it. We talked about that. Move it up again to see if you get those same numbers.
Reynolds over to first, and that'll do it. So Cypress walks away with game number 1, 5-0. 5 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors, and Emily Rush comes one swing away from having a no-hitter, no runs, 1 hit, 2 errors for the Ventura Pirates. For Ed Ford, Albert Robles, the old guy, Corey Neyland, well, game number 1 comes to an end as Cypress wins this one 5-0. Game number 2 will be on SportsNetUSA.net, and game number 3 will be back on Chargers Live. But as of right now, the Chargers win the first one 5-0 over Ventura here on SportsNetUSA.net and Chargers Live.